Start by giving all glory and honor and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, that belong to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teaching us 100% truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children. I'm your brother Magun Shalamar. The title of this video will be called Measure Thou the Time Diligently in Itself, because we believe that we're in the last days. That's what Great Millstone, beginning with elder apostles on down, teaches, that we're in the last days, and this time here on earth, as we know it, is going to come to an end, and the signs are out there. The prophecies are flying off the pages, and we're seeing that every day. This the devil, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, is enraged. You know, he's enraged because he knows he only has but a short time, and we're waiting for the MOTB to come out, which we know that to be the micro C-hip. Once that takes place upon the whole entire earth, it's going to come upon every man, every woman, every child that has to take the MOTB, micro C-hip, in his right hand and forehead in order to buy or sell, meaning you go without able to pay your bills, to eat food, to buy gas or anything without having that micro C-hip placed inside your body. And we know also that that's the only sin. That's the sin that's not going to be forgiven. If you take that micro C-hip, then you're going to be destroyed. You know, you will die on the side if you're an elect. And the elect, if I'm Salakia, if I misspoke, you will die on the side if you are an Israelite. And the Israelites are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian. And only the elect will not take that micro C-hip. So we're going to get right into it. This will be a short video. Even the this man here, he could very well be, he looked a Moabite, but he could very well be an Israelite. But we're going to listen to the short video of the breakdown of what he brings out, him knowing that America's in decline as well. So this is fair use, fair use. This is not for monetary gain, but for educational purpose only, fair use.
Wars and the present moment. Okay? All right. I know some of you in the comment section have been asking how you can support my work, and I'm really grateful for that. It truly means a lot to me. So I wanted to let you know that I've now set up YouTube Super Thanks and channel memberships. You'll see the Super Thanks button right below this video, and you can also check out the memberships tab on my channel. But I want to be really clear, you absolutely don't have to do this. I'm committed to educating you for free. All my content will always be available to everyone at no cost. You don't have to pay me anything or feel any pressure whatsoever. But if you do have the means and you'd like to support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Your support helps me continue creating this content. You need to hear learning the. So yeah, super thanks and memberships are now available if you're interested. Thank you so much for being here and for your support in whatever form it takes. So let's discuss societies, why they rise and why they decline. And the first thing I need to establish is something that might be uncomfortable to hear. We live in a world in decline. The signs are everywhere if you know how to look for them. And once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. So let me ask you, what are the signs that the world is in decline? What evidence do we have that things are getting worse rather than better? The most obvious sign is conflict and war. Look at Ukraine, look at the Middle East. But it's not just those headline-grabbing conflicts. Look at what's happening in Southeast Asia. Thailand is unstable. Myanmar is in chaos. And now you have Trump talking about sending US troops to Mexico and Venezuela. We live in a world of increasing conflict, and that tells us something important about where we are in the cycle of civilization. But wars are just the beginning. What else do we see? Environmental degradation, climate change. We are putting enormous pressure on the natural systems that sustain life. The air is becoming more toxic. The water is becoming more polluted. The land is being exhausted. This isn't just an environmental problem. It's a civilizational symptom. What else? Unemployment is rising throughout the world. But it's not just unemployment. It's something deeper. It's people's attitude toward work itself. We live in an age when people don't take work seriously anymore. People are not as enthusiastic. They're not as motivated. They're not as willing to work hard as previous generations were. In China, they call this the Beilan age. Beilan meaning let it rot. Who cares? Don't take things too seriously. Why kill yourself working when the system doesn't reward your effort anyway? In America, the term is quiet quitting. You show up to your job, you do the minimum required. You pretend to work, but you're not really working. You've checked out, you're just going through the motions. And here's another sign that's absolutely critical: lower birth rates. Throughout the entire world, young people are refusing to get married and have babies. Think about what that means. If this trend continues, eventually the world is going to die off. There won't be a next generation. This is not a minor problem. This is an existential symptom. Now, the only exceptions to this birth rate decline are Israel and Georgia, but these are very small, rare cases. For most societies throughout the world, there's rapid decline in birth rates. Young people are looking at the world and deciding it's not worth bringing children into. That's a profound statement about the health of our civilization. What else do we see? Lower.
Yeah, because the small hats were the ones who came out with the Planned Parenthood, and they used the so-called black pastors to push that Planned Parenthood. Because you listen to the name Planned Parenthood, you would think that that's a type of plan to help a young lady make changes to and better herself and bringing that child up in the system, like give them education and finding places where she could take her child for daycare that would be low payments where she would be able to go to school or find a job for her. But and the whole time that name Planned Parenthood equals baby death, the death of a baby. And the apostles brought out recently about the most dangerous place for African American, so-called African American child or baby is in the so-called black woman's womb. So that whole system, that whole Planned Parenthood was pushed by Margaret Thatcher and another small hat, and the same persons who Martin Luther King was, taking pictures with and holding his hand. But they came through that's the only way they said they had to come up with an idea of how they can push the Planned Parenthood in the black community in order for the black woman to abort her child to bring down the birth rate of the Israelites. And so they said, well, we have to use somebody in their community that they trust. So they use the Christian, pastors to come amongst the Judah's congregation to push that Planned Parenthood abortion, basically. You know what I mean? That's all that is abortion. So we're not, ignorant of Satan's devices. They are trying all ways to get their birthright back. Esau won his birthright back, and that includes to kill off Jake, the Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian. Because they will stop at anything to get their birthright back, but that's not going to happen. They are the son of perdition. Their destiny is to be to go into slavery when Yahushua returns, hardcore slavery, and then after that um, they're going to be killed off this earth. You know, they're going to be extinguished off this earth. They're going to be no more in existence. They're the son of perdition, meaning they're the son of destruction. They're going to be annihilated off this earth, extinct. You know, and we no so-called white people on this earth anymore. Once their 1,000 years is up, they're the only nation that haven't been given any mercy from Yahweh. You understand? So that's why they got all they're going all out to bring their wrath on this earth, because this is their heaven, and they're falling from their rulership on this earth, and they're falling out of power every day, and they're angry, and they're full of wrath. And the more every day and every second we go through, we're waking up to this devil wrath. You know, like the man just said, Donald Trump next stop is that he's want to go and bring war to Mexico, do the same thing over in Mexico. You know, and he ain't gonna stop there because he can't get enough. You know, he will never be fulfilled as far as his greed. The small hats, their greed, you know, that oil, that gold over in Venezuela, that's not going to be enough for him, you know. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Most High Yahweh will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we're seeing that now, we got earthquakes all over. You see all this devastation over in all these different countries, these tsunamis, and the earth is swallowing up 200, 300 people. You're seeing that today, and you're seeing the uproars of all these people. The whole nations on this earth is in an uproar, you know. And then shalt thou understand that the Most High Yahweh spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, and it's being manifest today through the great millstone, the prophets of great millstone, beginning with the Apostle on down. And even so, the times also as the highest have plain beginning in wonder and powerful works, and ended in effects and signs, because, you know, great millstone, the prophets of great millstones goes into the prophets, goes into the prophecies. No other so-called Israelite camp goes into the prophecy the way great millstone do. You know, dealing with the end time prophecies, the breakdowns of the MOTB, the breakdowns of when Yahushua returns, what's going to happen, the breakdowns of who his people is, the breakdowns of who the elect is, you know, the breakdown of who's the heathen nations are. So, you know, the other camps don't have that truth. That's because Yahweh is bringing through his prophecies through the men of great millstones. Verse 7 says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. And the ones that's going to escape is the elect, starting with the 144,000 of valiant men that's pushing this truth. And then there's numerous uncountable men, women, and children of the is also going to make up the elect. And they're the Israelites as well. Right? It says, then shall they be in a pitiful case. Who is going to be the pitiful case? Is the 2/3 that's going to be left back. Only a third of Israel is going to be saved in them chariots, and that's the elect. The 2/3 is going to be destroyed, mainly here in America, where the majority of the tribe is at. It says, then shall they be in a pitiful state, which now has abused my ways, and they that had cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Yeah, you're going to be dwelling in torments when them ICBM missiles come down. right? That nuclear destroying wind. And also through the chariots of Yahweh Shah when he returns, through those laser beams coming from the chariots. You know, this place is going to be a lake of fire. America's going to burn. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, because, you know, they love this. They love America. They want America to be great again. You know, they, you know, IUIC, you know, they're buying land and saying, oh, it could be another 30, 100 years. You know what I mean? All these camps is not in the mindset of this place is ending, or not wanting, you know, Yahweh Shah to return. They're not even calling upon the true name of the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. So they don't want this America. They benefiting from being here in America. They want to stay here in slavery. You know, we don't. We ready for this place to go up in flames. We're ready for America, a ball to be destroyed. You know, destruction, downfall of America. Because as soon as this happens, we know Yahweh Shah, as soon as he's going to come and restore his kingdom here on earth. And we're going to become part of the new covenant. We're going to get that new body, that incorruptible bodies. And we're going to get he's going to get rid of the stony heart and give us a fleshly heart where we won't sin no more. No more sin, no more death, no more pain. You know, we receive our reward when Yahweh Shah returns. It says, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. So this is the time of grace right now, and that door is closing, where we need to, you know, the elect is calling upon the true name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, the man is out here trying to preach this, out here preaching this truth and waking up the elect, you know, sinning less, you know, and praying for the destruction of this place called America. Verse 12, the same shall know it after death by pain. And that's what's going to happen to the 2/3. It's going to be death by pain. Not only just a quick death, it's going to be death by pain, you know, coming from the Heavenly Father Yahweh through his only begotten Son Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Man, I don't want that pain. I don't want no dealings in that. You know, it says, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. Right? So we shouldn't even dwell on how they're gonna be, you know, how they gonna, you know, vision how they gonna die. You know, it's really, he said, just to be, you know, inquire more so how we gonna be saved up out of here, man. You know, like, you don't want to feel no heat. I don't want to feel no heat from the missiles. I want to be up out of here. You know, within a blinking of an eye, we're gonna be changed just that quick. You know, and this world was created for us, for the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian. But the elect is going to be the first dibs. We're going to get the first dibs of the kingdom, you know, and the 2/3 is going to be born back into the kingdom. So all of Israel is going to be saved at the end of the day, you know, but the elect will inherit it first, you know, and the 2/3 will have to die on the side, death by pain, you know, and be born back into the kingdom. So with that, I hope you edify, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Akrah HaKadash. Again, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel. Shalom.